Hi, my name is Megan Carey, and I'm the lead author of the paper Methods to Reduce Fraudulent Participation and Highlight Autistic Voices in Research, published in the journal Autism. So in 2023, my team from the A.J. Drexel Autism Institute at Drexel University and myself, we conducted an online focus group study. What this paper describes is the steps that we took prior to initiating the online focus groups to identify fraudulent participants. So these were individuals who were pretending to be autistic young people who would otherwise be eligible for our focus groups. We wanted to publish this paper because online research opportunities do allow for more autistic young people to participate in research than ever before. And online participation in research can be the preferred method of participation for autistic young people. However, by creating online research opportunities for research participation, researchers must be aware that there are more opportunities for fraudulent participants as well, and we call these individuals scammers. The participation of scammers in research studies threatens the integrity of the conclusions we draw from our research because the data that these individuals are providing is not authentic. Most existing strategies, when we looked in the literature to address scammers in research, were created without autistic people in mind and might not work for autistic people. So in this article, we outline specifics about each of the strategies that we use to identify scammers and the steps required for each of the strategies because there's multiple steps and stages. Our strategies came from a combination of the few previously published works for combating scammers in autism research, which were largely using survey studies as their background, as well as strategies that our colleagues in autism research had been using in qualitative research that hadn't been published. So by combining this combination of fraud reduction strategies, we believe that our final focus groups were completely free from scammers. So to get to that point, we found it was necessary to employ that multi-stage, multi-step process to identify and disqualify scammers, which is outlined in the paper. The most successful tool utilized in our study to identify scammers were these face-to-face pre-focus group conversations, which we conducted over Zoom. This one step led to the removal of over 60% of the participants who took our online screening survey prior and were not identified as suspicious from the survey screening methods. So ultimately, with this paper, we hope that researchers will have some ideas of strategies to employ to reduce fraudulent participation in their studies, because as I mentioned, the only way that we can really draw trustworthy conclusions from our research studies and subsequently make recommendations for the autistic community is if we're confident that the study is free from scammers and the data is real. So some efforts, it's worth noting that some efforts to reduce fraudulent participation are resource intensive and or subjective. So to that end, we discuss at length that autism researchers should plan their staff time and their budgets appropriately. They should maintain frequent communication between the teams and, to the extent possible, include autistic collaborators on the research teams. And across teams, we recommend collaboration as well of sharing best practices in order to advance the field of autism research.